Well, hello everyone. Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I am here at the Ocean Picture Stone Quarry. I have been having a rough time lately, you know, mentally. Sitting around, reading comments online, all that kind of stuff has really been getting me down. And I just needed a day out in the quarry, relaxing. So I decided to come up here and see if I can get a few rocks. I'm not really harvesting today, but check out the rock I just found. Just broke this one free. Let's make sure she's nice and wet. Oh, baby. That is blue. That is nice. And this chunk of vein right here could produce a lot. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. Well, I've already got one bucket full. Let's throw that one that I just pulled out into the next bucket. It's filling up quickly too. And see where I go from here. Now, this video is not going to be about harvesting from the Ocean Picture Stone Quarry. Yes, I'm going to show you some of the material that I'm getting from there. This video here, I need to address a lot of things that have been said recently online about me, towards me, just in general. And I want to answer questions. People seem to have a lot of misinformation out there that I want to answer those questions. So as I'm harvesting great ocean picture stone today, I think I'm going to address some of these issues. And if you like watching my videos for the excited Dan Hurd who's always happy, well, you might see a different side of me today as I get a little upset about things that are said towards me and towards others. If you just want to see Happy Dan, go check out another video. I've got lots of them online. If you want to know some of the facts that are being twisted and misstrewn, sure, I'll answer some of those questions here. And not just the negative stuff. I want to answer some questions that people ask all the time and get that information out there so people know what's real from the horse's mouth. And while I do it, I get to hang out in a place I love. It's spring. But before that, something positive. Let's get another rock out of the pit. Okay, I think I got a good one coming. Broke some mid-grade off the surface here already. Oh, not even mid-grade. That's just white. Let's see what this rock is. Get the wire out of the water. I do have a ground fault on this, so not worried about electrocuting myself. Oh, there she goes. Whew. Now let's see if there's any chunks of premium down here. Okay, we got lots loose. Is any of it any good? And if you're concerned I'm breaking this stuff up into smaller pieces, you probably want to go back and look at my last video where I explain why I do that. Here we go. This is good first chance of a premium piece. Oh yeah, really nice through there. It's not great. Oh, but that is. Beautiful chunk. Premium ocean picture stone. What else do I have? Another big chunk. Oh yes! Blue! Great blue. Right through. Yep, another good chunk. This is the overburden. Nothing there. A little bit there. Blue down below. Oh, nice stuff. Oh, nice stuff. Oh my goodness, nice stuff. Look at that piece. There's the piece of the day so far. Nice. I'm muddy all over, working down in the pit like that. Yuck. Okay, now that I got some really good stone, let's address some issues. So it's common knowledge that social media influencers, celebrities, people in the public eye, those kind of people have to have thick skin, because people out there are going to say mean things. There are just mean people out there, mean and rude. Now, unfortunately, that's not me. I don't have thick skin. I let everything get to me. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You see how happy I am most of the time. But when I get home, I turn off the camera, I start reading these things online, I start getting quite upset. And I know my fans are always telling me, Dan, ignore the trolls. Don't let it get to you. Just ignore it. Stop reading it. I am not good at that. I am not good at ignoring it. I read it all and I dwell on it. In the last 3 or 4 days, I've had 3 or 4 really negative posts that weren't just criticizing me. I'm okay with that. They were meant to be hurtful. They were hate, and they were meant to turn others against me. And that really got to me. That is what made me decide I should say something about these negative things that are being said about me, explain myself, explain why I've done things in the past, explain who I am and why I do what I do. If you don't want to hear the negativity in my voice here, try to watch this as just knowledge. I'm going to explain a lot about what got me to where I am today. So let's start with one of them. There was on a Facebook group. This Facebook group had a meme made up and put into the group. It showed Polly and myself sitting side by side saying, hey, we're big time prospectors now. And then it showed a whole bunch of big time prospectors and miners laughing at us. Well, I hope that I've never said I'm a big time prospector. If I had, I am off base. I'm wrong. I'm very small. I am small scale. I'm a small fish in a big ocean. I'm not even a fish. I'm a shrimp in a big ocean. I'm out here having fun and recording myself having fun doing small scale prospecting. If at any point I have indicated that I think I'm, the big, what, I apologize. I should not be trying to indicate that. I like doing things on a small scale. I like being out here dabbling around, rock hunting, finding gold panning. I don't want to be a big time prospector. I have been offered all sorts of opportunities with big companies to go prospecting in the middle of nowhere, hiking mountains, looking for deposits. I've turned them down because that's not me. That's not what I want to do. And this post generated hundreds, probably over 100 comments. And lots of them were those negative people coming out of the woodwork saying negative things. One person who probably commented 50 times in that 100 said, we're not prospectors at all. We just find old claims and work old claims. Well, one thing I have to say to that is I do view myself as a prospector. When I started out this endeavor of mine, I had no deposits. I started claiming everything, looking for deposits. And in my mind, maybe not in everyone else's, in my mind, a prospector is someone that is out there looking for a deposit. Now, this person said a real prospector is someone that's going into the middle of nowhere, into a place that gold has never been found before, and doing the hard work looking for a deposit that has never been found. Okay, so that is one definition of a prospector for sure. However, it's not the definition that most of us think about. Most of us think about prospector as a gold panner or someone breaking rocks on a hill looking for a deposit. And when I called my company Dan Hurd Prospecting, it was because that's how I viewed prospecting, is going out and looking for a deposit. Whether it's in, virgin ground in the middle of nowhere, whether it's a new deposit on a known claim, or whether it's just, that micro scale, the gravel bar, which rock has the best gold behind it today. I view all of that as prospecting. I don't view mining until you've settled on a spot and start extracting from one spot. And you will have seen me many times over state that I much prefer the search than the settling down and mining. And to come out and say that I don't prospect at all, well, you seem to know me very well, but really, You don't. You may have watched a lot of my videos, but I spend probably about 60 hours a week doing my thing. You see 20-minute video each week of the highlights or something I want to show off. You don't see the other 59 hours and 40 minutes of me prospecting, mining, researching, all the rest of it. And a lot of that is because when I'm hiking a hill looking for a new deposit, 99.99% of the time, I'm finding nothing. That is the reality of prospecting, and that makes a boring video. So, yes, I have shown prospecting. I've even hooked up with a couple of prospectors from a big mining company and followed them around for a day and did a video on what they do. But most of my prospecting never makes the camera. Yes, I have hiked those hills over there looking for deposits. I have hiked all in behind here looking for deposits. You don't see that because it's not filmed. So to say I don't prospect, you don't know me enough to say that. And because you're trying to say it in a way that makes others think, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, that's just hateful to do. Trying to turn others off of watching me. And when my fans speak up and say they like watching me do what I do, and you come on and try to insult them by saying, oh, you're just a fanboy, trying to use the term fanboy as an insult, well, that is just rude. Sorry, there's me getting upset again. I know people don't want to see that. And to say in there that I don't mind, I don't prospect, I am just a wannabe, well, I don't want to be anything more than I am. I like doing what I do, and that's why I do it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing it. And I don't want to be a big scale miner. I don't want to take on those risks. I don't want to be a prospector that spends 6 months way up north hiking mountains that are remote. I like getting home to my family at least a couple days a week. I like what I'm doing. Trying to insult me, saying that I'm not doing a good job of what I'm doing, or I could be doing better, or I should be doing better, it's just mean. It's just mean. And of course, in that same thread were the sort of standard ones that I salt my pans, I make fake videos. If anyone knows about panning on the Fraser, you know I don't have to salt my pans there. And me finding a half gram a day, maybe up to a gram a day, isn't unrealistic. It's what you find there. People saying I'm throwing nuggets in. Anyone that's worked the creek up at my dream claim knows it's a nugget creek, knows that you can find nuggets on that claim. So, you know, the typical insult, I make fake videos, I salt my pans, just absolutely false. Just haters. And to salt my pans with like $40 or $50 worth of gold and then spend an 8-hour day doing that, well, that's kind of not showing off a great take. I'm not sure how many people out there would think that, you know, a $50 day is a huge take and I must be salting my pans to get it. It might be that I am showing real close-up pictures of the gold because I want people to see what the gold looks like and they're assuming that it's way bigger than it is. But after enough criticism about me doing that, I have started saying in every video that when I'm bringing out the close-up camera, the macro camera, taking those close-up shots, I say beforehand, it's time to bring out the macro camera or the close-up camera. I'm trying to be clear, transparent, not trying to fool people. Now, before I go on to the next post, I think I better go get myself another rock. Otherwise, I'll start swearing on camera. Not good. Okay, 2 feather and wedges. Let's see if we can get this chunk out of here. It's one thing nice about working in water like this is you don't have dust, but oh my goodness, is everything so muddy. It went in the wrong angles. Lots of cracks. Oh, we're getting it. Oops. Yeah, it's loose. Let's see what it comes up as. Okay, what do I got? Fingers under it. There it is. Oh, baby! That's a rock. Nice. Now, before I pull the next one, let's find somewhere nice to sit down, relax, and explain about the other social media post where someone accuses me of being a scammer. Now, the whole scammer thing was a different Facebook group, another Facebook post, which stated that I was overcharging for ocean picture stone and scamming my fans. Now, I can understand where this one comes from. The ocean picture stone quarry back in the 80s was mined a lot. Here in British Columbia, everybody in the lapidary world knew of ocean picture stone and had a piece. Back in the 80s, they had machines up here. They took thousands of tons of material out. And back in the day, they had no great way to market it. So they were just selling it on the side of the road to tourists driving by and to local lapidary groups and rock shops in the area. So the British Columbia community got unbelievably saturated with ocean picture stone really cheap. And even to today, there are stockpiles of the old stock sitting around that people have lots of that they're selling off cheap. Now, people in British Columbia here think that my prices are ridiculous because they can get it cheap from the old stock. The thing is, in today's market, I'm marketing that stone to the world. Most of my customers are in the US. In fact, I think we're sending 80% to the US, about 10% to other places in Canada, not BC, about 5% to BC, and then about 5% to the rest of the world. Because I have a big international customer base, they have set the price. I can only just barely keep up to the demand internationally of what I'm pulling out of the pit. If I went any lower in price, I would run out of stock. Absolutely. If I went higher in price, then my stock levels would build up. I would have more supply than the demand. Right now, at the prices I have set, I have the perfect balance about how much is coming in versus how much is going out. And yes, people in British Columbia think it's a ridiculous price because they can find old stock way cheaper. That old stock is very picked over, and it's mostly what I would consider mid-grade that's coming out of the pit. Very little premium left from the old stock. I'm getting good stuff out now. I'd have no problem at all if everyone in BC just bought from those stockpiles of old stock and didn't buy from me at all. And then my stock went to the rest of the world. No problem at all. But this poster says I'm scamming people because I'm charging way too much for the stone when they can get it cheaper elsewhere. If that's the case, fly at it. Get it elsewhere. Right now, I'm more worried about the international market. Yes, I love my BC fans, and if they want a piece of my rock, I'd be happy to supply it to them. But I can't give it to them less than I could sell that same rock to someone in the US. That's just the way that commerce goes. That's the market. And for value of this stone, really, in the ground, while it's still here in the pit, it's probably worth $5 to $10 a pound. But when you start putting in the time and effort of driving out here, which it's a 2.5 hour drive both ways for me, you then put in the extracting time. I've probably put in, I'm guessing, 800 to 1,000 hours in this pit extracting. And I value my time at a fairly high amount for sure. Then you put in the time of processing, cutting, sorting out the crap from the good, buying the saws for cutting. You put all of that stuff in there, all the processing fees. So driving, extracting, processing, and then a big one people don't think about is the marketing. How much does it cost for us to run that website, to hire someone to do the shipping? Yes, Dana does that, but we pay her to do that. How much does shipping cost? How much does the software cost? All of those things go into the value of our stone. Really, the value in the ground, sitting there in the ground, is probably only $5 to $10 a pound. You throw in the rest of it, plus some profit, and that's when we come up to premium selling for $75 a pound. Specimens even more, mid 40, low 20, but in the ground it's really only $5 to $10, and that old stock that was brought out en masse, yeah, it's probably not worth much more than $10, $15, $20 a pound because of what they put in, the cost at the time, and the fact that they were using big machines to bring out thousands and thousands of pounds. It's all economics. And on that same thread started a sub-thread of people saying that I am claiming up all the public dig sites and operating them as commercial mines. Well, let's start with the ocean picture stone. Let's start with right here. This has never been a public dig site. Right from day one when it was claimed, it was a private mine site. The original owner, one of the original owners, Captain Joe, he did bring rock clubs up to collect from the site. Remember, he was pulling out so much that he did not have a market for all of that. So he was allowing clubs to come up and dig and take material. And there's a lot of old timers around that remember being able to come in here with their clubs. Once he sold it, it changed hands a few times and it went through different people that said no. I only really know the stories of the last about 15 to 20 years before I got it. And that comes from my buddy Dave, who has since passed, who was trying to get permission for the club to come up here. And he said that he contacted the person multiple times, and I think he got a no once and then a bunch of just silence. Also, before that, the clubs were sneaking in illegally, claim jumping if you will, and they thought they had permission until the previous claim owner found them up here once and told them to get out. So when people say that I've staked this public dig site and I'm running it as a commercial mine, this has never been public. Yes, clubs did come in with permission back into the private mine back in the day, but for at least 40 years, it's been held by mining companies, myself being one of them, that have said no public access. And as for the other about 12 sites I have around the province, which are traditionally public dig sites, I work with the Kelowna, Kamloops, and Vernon rock clubs to make sure those sites stay open for public digging. I have one other than this one that I've closed down. There's two that we have safety issues at that we can't let the public go and dig. And there's one that a landowner said no more. There was too many people coming in, leaving messes, digging holes. So we have one landowner issue. But other than that, I hold about 10 sites for the public to dig on. When people see that I own them, if they don't dig more and find out more that I have got those for the clubs to go dig on, they think I'm just hoarding claims and not letting people dig on it. That's not the case. If you want to go onto any one of those claims, you just have to contact the Kelowna, the Kamloops, or the Vernon clubs and find out when they have field trips to those sites. I hold a lot of claims for the clubs because I'm good at claim management. I know how to put in the reports. I know what's appropriate work. I know how to keep them in good standing. And I keep many claims for the club's sake. But people think I am hoarding claims and keeping them for my private use. This one here, absolutely. One other, yes. The other dozen, no. They are for the public. Look at that pretty rock down there. Hoo-hoo-hoo, look at those nasty clouds over there. It's a beautiful day, but some nasty clouds. If you're still with me, you must be interested in my whole life story and everything. Awesome. If this is not your type of video, if you don't want to hear this, again, I've got hundreds of other videos of me finding nature's treasure. Go watch one of them instead. But if you are still interested in my rant, let's talk about the people posting about me being a claim flipper. Well, a claim flipper is someone who buys claims sight unseen and then instantly sells them to someone else for a profit. Now, in order for me to explain why people think I'm a claim flipper, I got to go back to the very beginning of my prospecting career. No, not as a teenager, but about 10, 15 years ago when I started doing this. When I started, I decided that I needed good ground to work on. And to get good ground, I would have to go through a lot of claims to find the ground that works for what I want. I put my whole effort into that. I was claiming anything within about 2 to 3 hours of my hometown that could have potential to be a good claim. I went through hundreds of claims probably. And what it was is I would claim anything that came available. I would drive out to the site. I would document access. I would document where I tested. I would document what I found. I would test the whole site. And then I would determine, is this one for me or not? And I had some pretty specific requirements for what was for me. If it was for me, it went into my portfolio. If it wasn't, I sold it off to someone else who might like that site. Now, my requirements were really good access. I needed to be able to drive in or ATV in. It had to be great for filming at. It had to have adequate to good gold on it. Starting with, I wasn't into the rocks, I was into gold. And it had to, I wanted a lot that were mineable, that I could run a high banker on. If it didn't meet those criteria, I would sell it off. And I would determine sort of what I thought it was worth for another miner to take that site and run with it. And then I would sell those sites for anywhere from about $500 to about, I guess the outside was about $2,000. I did sell a few for a bit more because they were worth more. But basically, if it was more than $2,000, I was keeping it. It went into my portfolio. If it was that good that I would sell it for more than $2,000, I wanted to keep it. Now, I went through a lot. I prospected every single one of them and then determined to keep or sell. When I sold the claims, I was selling them online, and I was insisting that anyone that bought the claim would go and check it out, try it, pan it, do whatever they wanted, see if it was right for them before they bought it off me. There were a couple people who just insisted on buying it sight unseen. For those people, I said, you have a month. If you go out and prospect and it's not what you want, return it to me. I'll return your money. I was adamant that I wanted them to be sure they were getting what they wanted. Now, there still are claim flippers out there. Don't even live in the province. They claim things the very next day, or sometimes the same day it goes up for sale. They've never set foot on it. Those are claim flippers. What I was doing was prospecting a site and then selling it to someone that wanted to work that site, or keeping it for myself. The one that a lot of people like to mention because someone was vocal about it is I had one claim that the only way into that claim was crossing First Nations land reserves. And when someone wanted to buy that off, no, that's not true. There was a public park, a provincial park, that you could access the riverfront a little bit away from the claim, walk up the river to the claim. There was an access that wasn't through First Nations land. But the easy access was through the First Nations land. The person that bought that claim off me, I told exactly the problems. If you want the easy access, you have to go and talk with the First Nations. The guy said, no worry, I'll have no problem getting permission to get down there. So I said, please go talk before you buy it. He says, no worries, I will go down after when I have time. So I sold it to him. Months later, I think it was like a year later, I started hearing the complaints. Dan sold me a claim that I cannot access. It's all on First Nations land. I tried contacting him, he never got back to me. I told him beforehand he had to work it out. I told him he had a month. If he didn't like the claim, return it to me. I told him all this stuff, yet he took it publicly that I was claim flipping and scamming people on claims. And that's what a lot of people now will quote when they want to complain about me online. They say that I sell inaccessible claims, that I was a claim flipper, that I did all these nasty things. Yet, if you know the facts of the situation, I warned him. I talked with him. I even gave him the option to get his money back if he didn't like the claim. I can't do any more than that. Yet, I get labeled a bad scammer claim flipper. So if you hear that out there on the internet, there's the story. There is what I did. I prospected claims. I sold them to people that wanted them. I gave them the option of getting their money back if they didn't like it. I insisted that they tried it first. I was doing everything, as far as I was concerned, right and moral. Yet, Facebook and social media and comments on YouTube label me a claim flipper, which seems to be the worst insult people can think of in the mining industry. In the end, I got a really good portfolio. I got the claims I wanted. You guys can see them. You guys see them on videos. I no longer buy hundreds, if not thousands of claims. No, not that many. I no longer buy lots of claims and sell off ones I don't like. I haven't sold a claim other than the option agreements to Grizzly. I haven't sold a claim in about 8 years. Yet, people still say, he's a claim flipper. Okay, let's go get that next rock out before I talk about the last nasty comments that I got. So I think the next one right beside that one there was actually free. Let's see if I can get it out and see what it looks like. I think that rock there, that wedge, freed it up. Oh, maybe not. We'll get it. Well, it's not as big as the last. Looks like it's only a pound or two, but let's have a look. One, I haven't looked at it yet. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Oh, look at the dendrites. Very cool. That is awesome. Not as big or cool as the last one, but still good. And then there was the one right beside it. That's 4 pounds of the best. And the last thing that people love to hate me for is that I don't respond to comments. Well, that is nothing more than a volume issue. I do respond to comments. I probably spend on average about 2 hours a day reading and responding to comments. The problem is, I get over 1,500 comments a day. In fact, yesterday I did try to do an estimate, because it was a Sunday, of how many comments, questions, emails, tweets, whatever they might be, I got, and I figured it was well over 2,000 yesterday. I can't get to them all. If I spend only like 10 seconds, which isn't enough, on each comment, I would be there for hours. I'm not sure the math. What's 10 seconds times 2,000? I'm not sure how long it would have taken me. Let's just say 1,500. What's 10 seconds times 1,500? If I spent 30 seconds, which is probably what it would take to do a good response to each question, I would be there for the full day. I would never again get to make a video. I would be answering comments every day, all day. So when people go online on Facebook and say, Dan is rude, he doesn't like his fans, he doesn't respond to his fans, it hurts. Because I do as much as I can. And some things are easy to respond to. Some things like, what color is ocean picture stone? I can type blue very fast. If someone asks me, can you explain the geology that forms the ocean picture stone pit? No, not in a comment. I can't. I can't spend half an hour typing out one response. Often what I do when I have common questions I get over and over and over again, is I include them in a video. I figure I'm not going to respond to the question. Next time I do a video, I will answer it. Yes, almost all the information you're asking is in a video somewhere, but I can't respond to 1,500 questions, comments, emails, text messages, phone calls, whatever it might be, a day. And please don't think I'm an a-hole for ignoring you. It's just not possible. And please don't go online on Facebook and start typing, Dan's an a-hole, he doesn't care about his fans. I do. I love my fans. I just can't respond to 1.3 million people. Sorry. And on that same note, I'm sorry, I don't have time to take you out panning. I don't have time to come to your property and evaluate your deposits. I can't give you advice on your property in Texas of where you might look for gold. I don't have time to even spend enough time with my own family, let alone taking people that I don't know out into the field or going to their places. I just can't do it. There's only one of me and I'm burnt out. I'm sorry. I try my hardest to make everyone happy, but I can't. I have a piece of advice if you are one of those people that moderate one of these Facebook pages. Don't let this hate get started. Shut it down right away. Whether it's towards me or anyone else, don't let hate be the norm on your Facebook group. It will kill a group. It'll make it miserable for people. And I think you can see what it's doing to me right now as being the focus of the hate. It's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. I hate it. So if you are a moderator of one of those groups, shut it down as quick as you can. Keep those groups positive, happy, about the fines, about advice, about helping people. Don't let hate be the norm. Well, I don't know what this video will end up being. It's probably like an hour long of me ranting. If you're still with us, congratulations. Thanks for listening to me rant. Thanks for letting me get this off my chest. It's not the type of video I want to make. And trust me, it's not where my videos are going. My very next video is gonna be back to positive, happy, excited, finding minerals. If you hear me do this again, I think what you're gonna be hearing is me saying, I'm done, I quit, I give up. Maybe I'll have a good rant when I quit. But right now, I had to get that off my chest. I hate the fact that people are trying to turn others against me by putting these half-truths or outright lies out there on the internet. That's my 2 bits. I had fun collecting rock. It did keep my emotions to a calm level. I got some great stuff today. I got 2 buckets worth. It's not much, but hey, it pays for the gas and the time out here. Hope you guys are having a good day. As you can tell, I'm not really, but I will tomorrow. Until then, bye.